Hi everyone, welcome to this lecture. So in this lecture, we will discuss the definition and the concept of linear regression. Since we have learned about the linear model, now it's time to transform the knowledge of linear model into the concept of linear regression. So this is the definition of a linear regression. So linear regression is a process where there exists a linear relationship between the independent variable and dependent variable. So this is the equation which is defining the concept of a linear regression. This equation is saying that y is the function of x, or y is dependent on x, or the dependent variable is dependent on independent variable, or y is dependent linearly on the independent variable. So this is the simplest equation which governs the idea of a linear regression. So the concept of linear regression is almost the same as that of a linear model, because a linear regression in its simplest form is just a linear model. Now here x and y are also known as features and target. So in linear model, we called x as independent variable and y as dependent variable. But in linear regression, we will call them as a feature and target. So the concept is same, that is, the target depends upon the feature. Targets are dependent quantities and features are independent quantities. Now it's time to transform our linear model equation into the standard regression equation. So that is our linear model equation. Here I am written as salary is a dependent quantity and experience in air is an independent quantity. Therefore, salary is a function of experience. Now this is my basic equation of a line, or this is called the equation of a linear model. Now when I transform this equation of a linear model into a standard regression equation, I have to replace few variable with the new variables. The concept is same. So first I am replacing slope with W and intercept with W naught. So if I replace slope with W and intercept B with W naught, so this is my new form of equation. So it is Wx plus W naught. So if I write W naught first and Wx after, then this is called the simplest form of regression or the standard regression equation, where W naught is now known as bias. We will not call it intercept. Now it is called as bias when we will study in the regression. The concept is same. And W is called as the weight which is associated with X. So X is our feature. This X is our feature. Y is our target. This is a bias and this is a weight. So we have to remember these terms in order to progress further. Now in this lecture, we have transformed the concept of a linear model into a concept of linear regression. Similarly, we have transformed a linear model equation into standard regression equation. So this equation, which is standard regression equation, is very similar to a linear equation, except there is a change in the variable notation. Now we are using a W naught and W instead of B and M. Now W naught will be called as a bias of a regression model, and W will be called as a weight which is associated with feature. So we will discuss both the concept of bias and weight detail in the coming slide. So I hope you understood this lecture. Thanks for listening, and I will see you in the next lecture.